Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean, your host. Let's talk turkey. Irate providers. And being the nurse practitioner, it's my job to say provider instead of doctor, physician, because times are a-changing, my friends. And 99% of the time, you're going to be dealing with some sort of provider, meaning someone like me, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. No, I'm not even going to use the word mid-level. It's a whole nother subject. Anyway, irate or upset providers. So there's different scenarios. You can have the scenario where you as the nurse, me as the nurse, screwed something up. You failed to deliver whatever it is you were supposed to do, whether it's something as simple as drawing a lab or something as complex as you didn't give a med or you didn't follow protocols. I don't know what. Once again, I think I've talked about it on many occasions. We're freaking human, okay? You're gonna make mistakes. So if you make a mistake and the provider is, junkyard dog in your face, then own up to it, fess up to it, apologize, and fix the problem. That's easy. Very simple. The other scenarios are a little bit more cloudy. You have providers that are just out to see the world burn. They're just nasty. Those are the junkyard dogs. Doesn't matter what you do. They like to bark, bite, doesn't matter. They're just nasty. They're not happy unless they're unhappy. They're not happy unless they're making you unhappy, okay? These are the ones that I'm talking about. You also have the providers that are passive aggressive. Those are the ones to watch out for, because they'll sneak up on you and make you feel horrible about yourself and you didn't even realize it happened. So, but I digress. So, junkyard dog, in your face, barking, spitting, throwing things. And if you think I'm making this up, just ask any nurse out there. There are providers out there that will throw things from across the unit. They'll throw things in the patient's room. They'll throw things down the hall. I've known physicians to break equipment. I apologize, I said physicians. Let the cat out of the bag on that one. I've known providers that have broken equipment because they were upset. And whether they were upset for a good reason or not, I can't honestly remember. The point of this is that you have to figure out how to put out the fire. You have to figure out how to tame the dog. This all goes back to the whole thick set of skin. This all goes back to owning up to your emotions. Over the years, once again, you try different things with different people, with different providers. Sometimes just walking away is the best course of action. Sometimes you can't. This particular tip I stole from another nurse because she was wise beyond her years. She suggested that you whisper. What? I'm sorry, did you say something? So in the heat of the moment, when the dog's barking at you and there's spit flying and the things are being thrown and they want confrontation, they want some rebuttal, they want the screaming match, they're thirsty for it, and at the heat of the moment, you're going to actually take a step back and you're going to whisper. You have no idea how effective this really is. Now, there's millions of scenarios where it won't be effective in the heat of the moment. You could be in the middle of a code. You could be in the middle of the surgery, the life and death. There's a million scenarios where it won't work, okay? And I've been in a lot of them. But the majority of the time, if you just take a step back and whisper, if you lower the volume of your voice, the junkyard dog has to lower theirs. So you have the dog barking and waiting for a response, and you take a small step back. I'm not saying you retreat. I'm not saying you cower down. You just take a step back and you whisper your response. They have to lower their voice to understand what you said. Now you better have your ducks in a row. You better know what you're talking about. You better have 2 feet underneath you when you do it, because they're going to bark again after they realize that you've lowered your voice, and you keep the tone of voice. You stay whispered, because within minutes they have to whisper and come down to your level in order to communicate with you. I thought it was total BS. I thought that it was a practical joke when this particular nurse years ago provided that pearl of wisdom. But maybe a year or 2 later, I decided that I wanted to give it a try. And I think it was because whatever else I had been doing wasn't working, and having the Irish temper that I have, and being bullheaded. I've barked a few times at other providers, but the whispering, wow, just wow. I'm not saying it's always going to work, but it is very effective when it does work, because it will happen in minutes. And as passionate as we are as nurses, as providers, as medical professionals, don't let passion confuse with anger. The level of your voice does not dictate how smart you are. Okay? Think smarter, not harder. Speak more effectively, not louder.